Survivors, and welcome back to another ARK video. So this time around we're going to be doing a note run, something that I actually despise about the game, but you know what, it's a part of it, so I might as well do it. And I think the hardest one to do is actually here on Aberration, so let's go through it a little bit and let's go through a couple of tips as well. This note here at the very beginning here at Portal is useless, you can't do anything with it. Secondly, it is going to actually just be in GCM mode for the entire thing because there's no point me, I guess, dying to anything. Like if I get pounced, then you know that your character would die. But there's a few ways that we can help stop that. So let's go through a couple of the tips. Not going to show off the mushroom tip just yet, but we will be going through all the different notes. So here's the first note. And we'll see how many seconds we can get up to as well. Oh, whenever you get a note, always buff your movement speed. That's probably tip number 2. Buff your movement speed because there's no point getting caught by raptors and whatnot because they're not going to be nice to you. So, see if I can avoid those raptors. Zoom out a little bit. So K mode will be a good friend as well. Just making sure you avoid those raptors. Avoid all the red mushrooms. I'll go through with you a little tip about red mushrooms as soon as we're in I guess a safer environment and when I've got more movement speed under my belt. So I guess the only advantage that I've got really, as opposed to what you guys are going to have, is unlimited stam. So you guys won't have unlimited stam, so just rest up whenever you can. Here's note number 2. I'm not going to be doing a GPS with all of these because hopefully it's relatively sort of straightforward, and if you guys have a GPS in order to actually follow what I'm doing, I can only assume that you don't need to do a note run. So we'll just do a bare bones visuals. Alright, so this looks okay. Now what you guys will want me to be doing is actually collecting up mushrooms. So you want to use them for food, you want to use them for water, etc. But there are a couple of water places that we'll be stopping off along the way, probably about 5 all up. So this might be a long video, but it'll be worth it, hopefully. So just grabbing mushrooms as you're running past. And then crafting yourself some armor. So it's not so much for the actual damage mitigation. Here's the next note. It's not for actual damage mitigation. It's more so just for stopping your hunger and thirst from, I guess, draining too quickly if it happens to get hot or cold. And we're going to shove more points in the movement speed. So I like to get my movement speed up to around the 150 mark, but I do recommend a minimum of 140. You need to outrun raptors, you'll need to outrun ravagers, you'll need to outrun basilisks. And all of them are nasty. Basilisks are probably the worst because they can spit at you. Raptors are probably close second because, let's go down here. Raptors close second because they can pounce, and ravagers have a bleed effect which will slow you down. So all of them are pretty nasty. So yeah, I like to be as fast as I can. Okay, nothing behind me. Alright, so we are approaching another dossier just up here. So take note of what this is. It's just like this walkway where we got the note from before, that ramp, and the dossier or note itself is just down here. And then we're going to run across the entrance, keeping that Z plant off there to our left. Continuing along. Okay, so let's see quickly. Notice the red part of the mushrooms. Notice how most of them are nice and curved on top. Look at that one there. Look how it's nice and pointed. Now if I get close to this pointed one, oh, there it is. So that's how you know they're dangerous. If it's got a pointy top, stay away from it. If you happen to, you know, run into any of them. But for the sake of a note run, just assume all of them are poisonous because you won't have time to just sort of sit there and distinguish them. So next, you run across all the way to the other side of the portal. And you've got these 2 exits here. Next to this big rock, this big rock, here next to the exits, you'll have another note. So grab this one here as well. Now, out of left and right, we want to go right. How much points have I got? I'll just stick that into there. Okay, so I'm going to stay at 151. And from this point forward, I'm not going to level up my character. It'll be, I don't know, might be a surprise at the end for the final result. I am on 1 times XP, and I'm on 1 times gathering and stuff like that as well. In fact, I think everything's 1 times, harvesting, gathering, etc. So do take note of creatures that are sprinting, because that could mean danger for you. But if you are getting chased, leading them to herbivores is probably your best bet. So at 150% movement speed, I highly doubt that that anything's going to be able to catch you all that easily. Oh, and we've got a couple of Ravagers making their way down, so we're going to just zip off to the left here. And we're going to make our way up. So basically what you're looking for is like an alleyway of all these weird sort of mushroom trees. Continuing along until you come across a bunch of Ravagers apparently. Alright, we're going to see if we can avoid those. If we can. Avoiding. Alright, see that charge station? That's our target. We want to go straight towards that charge station. Remember to try and keep your stamina up and your fluids up at all times, but we will be coming across some water soon. Alright, so that's the next note there. Just past that charge station. Next, we're going to be running back the way we came. Alright, so that Scorpion's just killed that Parasaur. Fantastic. We got an Ovis. Now, Ovis are actually really good for distractions because they can take, like if they're a high sort of level 1, then they'll have a lot of health. And that means they'll drop a lot of mutton. And Ravagers and Raptors and whatnot will have a harder time harvesting that. So, yeah, keep an eye out for either races or Ovis. And the races are only good if whatever you're trying to avoid attacks you and then simultaneously accidentally attacks the racer. So coming back down this ramp, see that charge station there, stick to your left. We want to go down this ramp. Continuously going down until we get to those 2 exits that we spoke about before. We've got a couple of Raptors, we're going to try and avoid them. Alright, so this Raptor might get close. It has indeed gotten close, but that's okay. It's probably going to go for this Lystro. Now we're going to run past these 2 entrances slash exits, or the archways that we just spoke about. Those ones there, they will lead back into the portal. And then we're going to jump off the edge over here. So I've never personally had an issue with jumping off the edge. So just find a spot where you're not going to land on solid ground. Jump. By this stage you'll be more than fast enough to clearly make it. I've never seen anything dangerous in this water. No manta rays, no spinos. I've seen Ravagers on this island, I think, once. Or Raptors. But that's about it. And then jumping across the water, as soon as you see that big divider there, you want to go to your right. Heading towards this big rock here. The more movement speed you have, the faster you'll swim as well. I think oxygen apparently also affects it, but I've never tested that. Okay, so heading towards the legs of this bridge. Okay, we got some Ravagers, which doesn't help us. Continuing along, underneath this, underneath that bridge. This standalone pylon here, next to the gas vein. That's our next note right here. Okay, so now we've got a nice grey trail. You see this trail on the ground? It looks kind of grey-ish. Well, that's what we're going for. We're going for that grey trail, and our leads to the left and the right. We're going to go straight ahead up this hill. So by going straight ahead up this hill, we'll have all the other nasties sort of behind us. Now you want to sort of hug the left-hand side. Hugging the left-hand side will hopefully decrease the aggro range of some creatures if they happen to be on the right-hand side. Now I'll get to the point where you can't go up this ramp, turn left. And there is another note right here. Go to the right hand side of this section here, just so you can run up it, and go back to your left hand side to hug the left wall or the left edge again. Again, this is just to try and stop the aggro of too many creatures. If they happen to be on the right hand side, they may leave you alone because you won't be in the aggro range. Hopefully. Alright, so just sticking to the left, sticking to the left. Now, notice how it was nice and wide, and now it's gone really narrow. We're looking for this part specifically. The ramp will get a little bit steeper. Jump up on top of this steep part of the ramp, turn left again. You'll see this little cyan / teal backpack. So we're going for one of those. Now we're going to make our way all the way down again. And we didn't see anything dangerous on the way up, so I can only assume there's nothing dangerous on the way back down. But if you need, I guess, direction, just to make sure you don't veer off too far, stick to the right hand side, as when we were coming up, we were sticking to the left hand side. And we'll just make our way down. And remember to just, like, at times like this, it'll probably be a good idea to stop, rejuvenate your water with the aquatic mushrooms, and rejuvenate your food with the Aberration mushrooms. Just keep them in your hotbar, just picking up the mushrooms as you go along, like so. Now, once you get to this grey track, remember how we spoke about the grey track? Turn left. Heading down this grey track. And then don't go too far into the track, but then you'll want to turn right, heading back towards this track here. And then this little cluster of rocks. Whoop, lag spike. This little cluster of rocks here, underneath this bridge, here's your next note. Then, underneath this big rusty A-frame of the track, there's another note right here, literally right next to the other one. Now, turning right and going back to that track, you know how we'll talk about the grey track? Alright, now we're going to be following it. Following it around this curve here, around this way, following the curve, and now it's going to split into left and right, but we do have a note right here in front of us, so we're going to grab this note. Excellent. And now we're going to turn left. We're going to hug the wall. Hugging the wall, hugging the wall. Make sure you keep your fluids up, your food up, your stam up, etc. Keep note of what's inside this area here. We're going to actually quickly do an observation of what this area has, because sometimes it has some nasty, unsavory characters. But if it's only Titanoboa, we're going to be pretty good. So sometimes Megalosaurus can spawn in there, and that's not fun. You don't want that. So we're going to follow this pathway around again. Following the path, and then we're going to see these last 3 redwoods. We're going to go straight through the middle of the second and third one. Straight through the middle, and as you can see, there is another backpack. Can't miss it if you go dead straight. Now we're going to go back up through these 2 redwood trees. Straight up, all the way past. Oh, those were raptors, eh? Raptors and a bulb dog. Okay, we're going to veer to the right a little bit. So I do apologize if it's going to be a little bit confusing at parts. So this wall here, it's going to have a big rock attached to it, and at the base of that big rock is another note. Fantastic. So 7,700 seconds, give or take. So let's continue on. We're going to stick to the right hand side of this wall. Sticking to the right hand side, sticking to the right hand side. It's going to slowly veer to the right, and now it's going to do a sharp turn to the right. As soon as it does that sharp turn, go straight. Go straight, go straight, go straight. Outside of the rock field, like look how many rocks are here. That's a rock field. Now we've got another note sitting right here waiting for us. Next, and this one's going to be a little bit further away, so do pay attention. We're going to fast forward, oh, well, not fast forward, but we're going to fast track ourselves straight past all this danger, because who needs that? We don't need that. I don't need that. And then we're going to continue up. So we're going to keep the lake on the left, and we're going to go up this ramp here. We're going to have some vines on our right hand side. It's going to turn into a cliff for us. Turn left, and bad boy right there. Fantastic. Then we're going to be turning, not turning anywhere necessarily, but we're going to continue going straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. And in theory, we should jump, go up this hill here, go past this hill, and if you've done it correctly, you'll see this ledge. Don't worry, you're not going to fall. Jump, land on the ledge, and start sprinting. Stick to the left-hand side. Sticking to the left, grab yourself some mushrooms. Jump every now and again, because you'll come across some gaps. You don't want to fall into those gaps. And now you'll come across some green gems and a charge station. Now this charge station, just to the left of it, is going to be another note. Fantabulous. That's a word now, fantabulous. Not fabulous, just fantabulous. So, after you grab that note, we're going to go around to the right hand side and veer our way down this ramp. Now this is where it can get real prickly. We're going down to some nasty territory. Don't be afraid to jump down a little bit sooner than what you need to in the name of trying to get some distance between you and a nasty predator. Alright, so with our movement speed, we should be a lot faster. With that bulb dog there, they should start attacking that instead. Now, you come into this nice big clearing. There is a note right here. Grab that note. Now this part here is sort of up to you. Okay, I don't think that would have hit me. I think I was a little bit too quick for that. I do have GCM mode on, I understand that. But I don't think that would have hit me. Alright, we're going to go past this Carcanos and this Racer. We're going to go up this hill here. We're going to stick to this edge. Stick into the edge, stick into the edge. Up and over. Oh, okay, so see how I didn't get affected? Like I did before? I was going too fast for the spores. Too fast, I'm just too quick. Like the Flash, 150% movement speed. Alright, so we're going to continuously go to the right, and then you should see a rock with a couple of trees surrounding it. There's a note there by itself. Next, that Spino and Sarko is distracted for the most part. We're going to jump in. We're going to swim, swim, swim. We might have some Piranha, might have a Sarko. We're doing pretty good. Alright, big archway. We're going to go through this archway, and we're going to... Holy hell! Okay, too fast for them. I think I would have gotten hit, but I don't think I would have gotten pounced. So there's the charge node there. We're going to go past that charge station. Stick to the left-hand side. We've got a bulb dog that's running. Why is that running? We've got 3 redwood trees. Okay, ensure whether you go towards these redwood trees. Avoid the red mushrooms along here. Just trying to avoid all the mushrooms you can, but sometimes it can be a bit too difficult. But with my movement speed, the spores don't affect me as long as I keep moving. Next, sticking to the right-hand side, we're going to find this little divot. So we're going to run, jump, and hopefully land. And then we're going to turn around, heading towards this weird screen, like these holographic screens. There's a rock here, and it's going to house the next note. Awesome. Go back down to that divot. Now, where are those raptors? They're over there, so we're going to go to the right a little bit, and we're going to cross to the other side. I almost got it stuck. Almost. I'm going to lead it to... Oh, I'm going to lead it to some more raptors. Oh dear. Alright, thankfully tech creatures and regular creatures and aberrant and all that, not being the same species means that they're not going to, I guess, create that that group aggro effect amongst each other. Oh, okay. So we are having an earthquake, and that will slow you down. That will stop you from running. Do be careful, because it will not stop the creatures that are pursuing you. I'm going to keep going just for the sake of the video, but I do recommend you guys wait out any earthquakes in a safe spot. Grabbing the mushrooms. Make sure you grab those mushrooms. If you get spored, you want to make sure you can stop the effect as soon as possible. Next, sticking to the left, you're going to come across a ramp that goes down to a lake, and you're going to come across I guess like a straight ahead path. Stick to that straight ahead path. We've got raptors ahead of us. Oh, okay. I'm gonna see if I can get this raptor just for the sake of Oh, don't attack me. Okay. See those green gems? Those green gems are what we're after. Why? Because there is a note directly past them, just like that. So let's go for this note here. Okay, so that's a lone raptor. That's perfectly fine. It's going to be busy with the parasols and stuff. So I'm going to run around them. We're going to go back towards this this ramp that was leading down to the water. And then we're going to somewhat hug the left-hand side, and we're going to see if this is relatively safe. So sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Whoops. Staying away from the mushies. Okay, looks safe to me. Let's jump in. Remember, more movement speed means more swim speed. That's what we're after. Continuing along, we're going to run along this edge here until we come across a lone tree. This tree is all by itself, and look what's underneath it. Fantastic. Let's keep going. Okay, so now we're going to veer to the right, keeping the lake off to our left-hand side. Staying up here, going across these rocks. Should be fine, should be fine. Up this mild ramp, sticking to our left, keeping that charge station to our left-hand side. Going up, and eventually, oh, parasol, now's not the time. And eventually, up over there, I've got my view distance on low. That's another tip for you guys. If you keep it on low, then it'll allow you to see the other bits and pieces a bit easier before the harvestable nodes render in. So here is the next note. You're looking for a cluster of mushroom trees with a big rock. The big rock will house the note. Let's continue. as you continue along the same path that you were going, you will see this little stream. This little stream will have one of those grey trails that we were following before. So follow this grey trail all the way up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then eventually you'll come across 2 big redwood trees next to the lake or the stream. And that's where you'll find your next note. Now we're going to make our way back down. And let's see what we can do here. We'll jump across here. Fantastic. Alright, was that a basilisk or was that a roll rat? I think it was a roll rat. Okay, roll rat. Perfect. So, trying to keep an eye on danger. There's a scorpion. We're going to avoid that. But on the right-hand side, on the other side here, whoop, excuse me, Parasaur, we're going to have a lone mushroom. And underneath that lone mushroom, another note. Oh, they just keep reeling in. So then, we're going to see what we can do here. Now, this part can be a little bit tricky. But, if you can land on this, you won't take too much damage. From here, landing on that rock, avoiding that mushroom, and then you shouldn't take too much damage either. So from here, coming along here, avoiding the Sarco, running along the right-hand edge to try and avoid as much aggro as possible. Keep going, whoop. Okay, so we've got a charge station to our left. Fantastic. So the charge station to our left, there. Oh, more Sarcos. Alright. Oh, almost. Okay. And then up here, if we kept to the right, we'll have a... Okay, I'm going to have to do this quick. We'll have a ramp with a crease there. That dark crease will show that next note. And then, oh, we have a basilisk. Of course we've got a basilisk. Oh, and I just heard a raptor behind me. Excuse me there, Ovis. You're now raptor food. Okay, so I'm going to run around here because I don't want to be a part of that basilisk dinner. After that note, we're going to run over to these gigantic crystals. You cannot miss them. I know it wasn't overly clear to see them, but you will not miss these crystals. Continue going along with these crystals until you see a gas vein. This gas vein is going to denote where the next note is, because it's right here just before the gas vein. Plop. Alright. Don't worry guys, we're getting there, So, continuing along where we saw those crystals, we're going to hug the left-hand side again. Trying to hug one side or the other is always preferable, because if you have something on the right, it will not aggro. But if you're in the middle, right and left will aggro, and you'll have very little chance of survival. So let's keep going up, Oop. Okay, so now we've got a pathway down here, so I'm going to take this pathway. This pathway just down here, we're going to continue along. That gas vein there, stay to the right of that, and then make your way back over to the left, because gas veins are not your friend. Now, we're going to walk through this field of mushrooms. Don't worry, none of them have like the pointy top, so we are good. We've got another note right here. Then, we're going to run past those parasaurs, keeping everything off to our left-hand side. Pointy top mushroom, right there. Poisonous. Another pointy top mushroom there in the center. More poisonous. Okay, keeping the charge station off to the left. Staying to the right-hand side, jump over these mushies, and we have the next note. Awesome. Then, let's see how we go. Okay, keeping to the right, and now we're going to stick to the right-hand wall as best as we can. We got this charge station here, so we're going to keep that on our left. Run past the charge station, quickly duck over to the next wall. We do have an Ovis here, so that's the best distraction we can have. Keep it to the right. Okay, now, if you guys can probably see through the trees, we have another note right there. Why do we have another note right there? Because my view distance is on low. And there it is, guys, 17,000 seconds. Provided that you don't get killed, you don't miss any of the notes, and you don't get killed, don't miss any of the notes, and you up your movement speed. So there's a couple of factors in there, but it is very much possible. I promise. I've done it a few times, and it's one of the reasons why I kind of despise it. Now, as the last, I guess, section to this, as I said I would do, let's quickly buff out all our points into STAM and then see what level we end up with. Level 70 for 1 times XP. Just 1 time. So, yep. Hopefully this has helped you guys out. I don't have my typical hairstyle at the moment, but that's okay. You guys get the idea. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for all the support that you've given to the channel. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.